Alex and Kim here in the 500 Club at Daytona International Speedway, getting geared up for Sunday's Daytona 500. We have Rowdy and number 18 driver Kyle Busch. Welcome to another Daytona 500 Media Day. I know these are always your favorites, Media Day, right?
Yeah, always my favorite. That's right. Yeah, coming in and getting the season started. No better way than making me mad. I'm just kidding.
No, don't blame us.
I imagine you can't be mad after yesterday's practices. It seemed pretty tame. What did you feel out of the car, and has it set the stage for the rest of the week?
I think the biggest thing that surprised me was just how these things are in the draft. When we were in our TRD pack and we were in there six of us, the last guy would always have a tough time holding on to the front five, or even the fifth guy would have a hard time holding on to the front four. So when we were with the old car, even forever, we've always worked on suck up, the ability to close in on the guy in front of you, and how fast can you close in on the guy in front of you. And that's the trick to being able to pass people. And right now the last guy falls off, so it's backwards of what it should be. So that was a little learning curve, but seeing what that's going to be like in a bigger crowd with 20 guys in the duels and then all of us in the 500 is going to be probably a different story.
We know that Kyle Busch never shies away from a challenge, but this next-gen car, we hear that it's going to be a challenge and an unknown. You guys are the best drivers in the world. How big of a challenge is it for folks at home that don't really know what it's like inside of the race car?
I think the biggest thing is just finding out what makes this car tick, what things it likes, what it doesn't like. We've kind of figured out in some of the testing that we've done where we'll make a package change and, it'll go faster, and then we'll kind of work on a couple of the ideas further of what that package was, different from the previous one, and it slows down again. So it's very, very nitpicky as to what it likes. And so you can be off just a little bit and make a couple little tweaks to it, and boom, all of a sudden, pick up a tenth or two. So I guess if you're in the race and you're off a couple tenths and you turn the right knobs on it and you pick up, then that's going to be great. But if you're winning the race and you just need that little bit more and you turn a half a knob and then you go backwards, now it's like, oh, damn, what did we do? So I think you're going to see a lot of that for the first, half the season, everybody trying to figure this thing out.
In past years, it's always been, if we're not winning by X race, then we're a little behind the curve, that sort of thing. With the next-gen car, because there's so much to learn and everything is new for everybody, is that timeline increased a little bit in terms of knowing you might have to wait a little bit for success?
Yes and no. I mean, when you're with Joe Gibbs Racing, no. I think when you have a great team and you're in a Toyota and that sort of stuff, you've got everything that you need to be able to go out there and be successful. You would expect to win in the first 4, 5, 6 races, So I do think there's a group out there right now that's got this thing a little bit more figured out than the other ones. Everywhere we've been with the test session so far, they've seemed to be a little bit of a step ahead, and so I think we're playing catch up at the time right now.
This race has come down to manufacturers battling against each other, especially in the last 3 or 4 seasons, and we've talked to your Toyota teammates, specifically your Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. You guys have added some more to the Toyota camp. It has to help having friends in high places out there at the super speedways.
Strength in numbers is always good in the speedway racing, yeah, for sure. I mean, a couple of years ago, we were paying off some of the Chevy guys to be a part of our deal, because they were kicked out of the Chevy deal. So
free Rowdy energy.
It was really weird, but it's great to have, especially a brother as well too, with Curtin there, and then Bubba. Having them with 2311 and being able to join the Toyota fold with us JGR guys. So that helps. Now what that's going to look like when it comes down to the end of the race, I think we all kind of saw the end of 2016 go a little crazy, where we were all in a line and then somebody jumped out and he won. But we were all a little miffed about that one. But overall, just, if we can have that situation come down again with our strength like that, it would be great.
How much flexibility is there? Because it seemed like that jump out was a bit of a surprise. Is there room for you, though, if you find a driver out during the race, because we won't see 40 cars drafting until Sunday, that you're working well with, that you have the ability to say, I didn't talk to this guy or practice with this guy before the race. He's not my manufacturer, but I'm going to ride with him because my car is doing what it needs to do? Yeah,
I think that would only probably come in with different drivers that you have a little bit of a relationship with, just off the racetrack. But I wouldn't say that they're going to come down towards the end of the race, and if they're pushing you, they're going to get yelled at behind the scenes, so they're not going to want to do that unless it's something that could somehow help them, get a better spot towards the end or whatever. But we've heard way too many rumblings of the manufacturers dictating not working with the other manufacturers or helping anybody in that regard.
We've seen how fun this year has the potential to be. We got a little taste of it at the Clash at the Coliseum, and you already hands down have my favorite moment of the season. At the top of the Coliseum, your name was just called, you turn around, it's this epic gift that will never be recreated. You had to be exciting to get some cheers, and the flip side, some boos at the Coliseum. Pretty cool.
If they're all making noise, that's a good thing. I've heard that from a superstar driver once upon a time. So, not that big a deal. I'm used to it by now anyways. I should be. So it was pretty cool, though, to be out in L.A. I mean, great job by NASCAR and great job by the fans coming out and being receptive to the whole idea and not knowing really what to expect, any of us. I thought it was a good showing and something that you wouldn't really have expected with the old car to put on a good race inside a tight little quarter-mile racetrack like that. So I think the car lended itself to that better action. But overall, the crowd was good. They were excited. After the national anthem, I mean, just the rumble of the crowd and being in the dome stadium type setting where you hear it from each side was really cool. And then there was a hell of a rowdy group off of turn 2 that was going at it pretty well. So not sure where all them guys were from, but they certainly saw many of my my KFB summer moments from last year.
Oh, love it.
We don't think you're a villain, but you've certainly embraced that side for the fans that like to cheer against you. Do you think, though, playing that role has increased your visibility over the years, has increased your overall popularity?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you'll do certain things to antagonize that group, and then that'll get a conversation started. And you'll have your Rowdy Nation supporters that are out there that have your back, that'll pound it into the ground all day long. So that's why, I feel like the last couple of years, unfortunately, we haven't won enough to make our voices as loud as they need to be. So we need to get back into winning a lot more, being in victory lane more, celebrating, having Rowdy Nation be able to go out there and pound it into the ground during the week. So you're always talked about, which we already always are talked about. So that's not a problem. It's just the narrative of being able to win. We want to be winners, and winning is where it's at.
All right, well, winning may be where it's at. Come Sunday, Kyle Busch is looking for that first ever Daytona 500 win, hoping to check the box Sunday in the Daytona 500.